What's up, you Snake Diet savages? Snake Diet Dan here to answer another Q&A. Yay! Let's go right into the questions. Number one is, hey Dan, I have low iron. Should I do a fast? Yes, you absolutely should do a fast. So if you have low iron, it's likely that you have a mineral absorption problem, okay? And what fixes that? Fasting, healing your digestive tract. Okay, my girlfriend actually used to be anemic, which means she was extremely iron resistant. As soon as she started fasting, like a month later, no longer anemic. She's absorbing iron properly. Everything's cool. Okay, and then on your refeeds too, because you're going to fast and then you're going to refeed, obviously. Do your refeeds with high iron foods and then go get your iron levels checked and see what happens. I guarantee if you do this properly, if you live a fasting focused lifestyle, eat some high iron foods, you will go back to not having any iron issues whatsoever. Okay? All right, next question. Question number 2 comes from Crystal. Hashtag video question. I would like to know what are the best things to eat and portion sizes after I break my fast. What seasonings I should use and sides for meal prep. I would also like to know workouts you would recommend while fasting. Okay, so basically, Crystal, I'm not going to give you a complete fucking plan here on a Q&A video. This is just for quick yes and no, do this, do that questions, but I will give you a brief rundown. So first thing, I would like to know what are the best things to eat and portion sizes for after I break my fast. I don't know anything about you. I don't know how fat you are. I don't know how your digestive system works. I don't know a damn thing about you, whether you're exercising, what kind of exercise you're doing, nothing, okay? So based on that, all I can say is if you're fat, you want to do low-calorie refeeds with a high micronutrient content and quality macro content, okay? So if you're lifting weights, make sure you're getting protein. Good proteins from meat with 9 essential amino acids, okay? You can throw in some fruit as your sides. You can, it depends. It depends on your program, okay? So then what else? What seasoning should I use for side? What seasoning should I use? Okay, most seasonings are going to be good. Most herbs and spices are going to be good. Why am I out of focus here? There we go. Back in focus. So obviously Cole promotes cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is awesome, gives you an awesome thermogenic effect. Something I like to use a lot is turmeric. It's great for inflammation. You can use all kinds of herbs and spices. Just make sure that they're not loaded up with sugars and artificial bullshit, okay? I mean, herbs and spices are great. You want to stay away from sauces is what you want to stay away from, like barbecue sauces, fatty sauces for like butter chicken sauces, that kind of stuff. You're going to add a ton of calories there that you don't need. Your seasonings are going to be fine. And salt, I mean, if your daily allowance allows it and you're not quite hitting your salt intake on the snake juice alone, salt up your food. I would also like to know workouts you would recommend while fasting. Steady state cardio while you're fasting, obviously. If you're doing extended periods of fasting, just stick with the steady state cardio. I would prefer if someone was lifting weights at least every other day, if not at least, like very minimum for a newbie, probably 3 times a week. But I don't know where you're at, okay? You need to give me more information for me to give you information like that. But definitely hit that steady state cardio while you're fasting to burn more fat. Okay, question number 3 comes from Toby. Toby says, I can fast no problem, but if you can help me quit smoking, that would be a miracle. LOL, help. In my eyes, Toby, if you're smoking, you're not truly fasting, okay? And I'll explain why. When you're taking in carcinogens all day long, that means that you're not getting the full benefits of autophagy. Your body's not cleaning itself. It's just constantly cleaning out the garbage that you're putting in there. Also, you're altering your hormones, okay? So you want your hormones to be balanced for optimal homeostasis. Well, any homeostasis is optimal. You don't want to constantly jack up your cortisol either. You know, your cortisol is going to be high already while fasting, but it's high in a good way if you're doing it properly, because it's burning body fat. If you crank it up any higher than that, you're going to start burning lean tissue. You're going to start burning muscle. You're going to start burning things that you need, okay? And then as far as like helping you goes on a mental level and not so much the practical level, you have to figure out why it is that you keep smoking, why you keep clinging to this shitty addiction that you know kills you. You know it kills you. Like, it's not like there's a person in the world that thinks that smoking is healthy, okay? So you have to figure out what the issue is, whether you're just brainwashed into consumerism, you know, you feel inadequate without having something, without having that little vice to cling on to, or whether you have some trauma, you've had some trauma in your life and it's a stress thing. I don't know. Contact me as a coach. Maybe I can help you work it out, but I can't get inside your head through a YouTube video, okay? But just know that you have to figure out why you're smoking. And then just to touch back on the practical again, when you're smoking, besides all of the negative benefits, I could talk for 2 hours about the negative benefits of smoking. You're also getting dopamine hits every time you smoke, which means that you're not breaking your food addiction. Because what is your food addiction? It's a dopamine addiction. Okay? It's all the same addiction. That's why you cling to it. So you're not really breaking your addictions by not eating. You're just replacing it with something even worse. Okay? Question comes from Ilyas, I think is how you pronounce it. Could you please tell me how I can fast on a snake diet as a type 1 diabetic? I'm really confused, as some people are saying it can cause diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis. What a buzzword, hey? Diabetic ketoacidosis is a real thing, but it's more of a fear tactic than anything to keep you on fucking medication. But I will go through it. So, you see, the internet's a fun world where you take the rarest of negative situations, and there's always someone that's gonna comment with that in mind, just to feel important on anything that could remotely go in the direction of what they're talking about. And what I mean by that is the snake diet doesn't fucking cause diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis is caused by a combination of dehydration and a very low blood sugar. Okay? Now that can happen on a keto diet. It can also happen with fasting. But the main thing is, with a snake diet, you're not going to have that issue because you're going to hydrate with snake juice. Okay, that eliminates the problem right there. And then what also I like to have diabetics do is eat 1 meal a day, and I don't even put them in ketosis anymore. Sometimes I'll get them through a 48 just to do that one little trip into ketosis, but then I'll have them eat fruit, and I'll have them eat meat, and I'll have them eat veggies, and they don't necessarily stay in a deep state of ketosis really ever. Okay? I have a buddy whose wife was born with type 1 diabetes. She stuck to this exact plan. She lost a ton of weight. She feels healthier than ever. She went from like not only just morbidly obese, but really fucking sick. Like never got off the couch kind of sick. Napping all fucking day kind of sick, to being one of the most upbeat people in the room over the course of about 6 or 7 months. It's incredible, okay? So no, the snake diet does not cause diabetic ketoacidosis, but do your research on how to do it properly or contact a coach when you want to take the fucking plunge on the snake diet, all right? All right, our next question comes from our buddy Vlad. Dan, I don't know Cole's opinion on dairy. I would ask you. I know milk is not good for us, but what is good? Yogurt, cheese? I mean the real thing, not from normal factories. Thanks a lot. Okay, so the real thing, not from factory. Because obviously Vlad already knows that factory dairy is shit. I'm assuming Vlad lives in another country because to get actual real fucking dairy is illegal in Canada, believe it or not. So my opinion on it is it works for some people and not for others. It's really a gray area. It's whether you have digestive issues or not. Okay? So it can be good for people who don't have digestive issues. But I will phrase it this way. Why do you want dairy? There's no real big benefit to the dairy. Sure, you're going to get some protein, you're going to get some carbs, but dairy's typically really high in fat. Cheese, yogurt, whatever. If it's real fucking dairy, it's going to be high in fat. And your goal should be to lose weight while using your refeed strategically to build muscle. And fat really has no place there. You want very little fat. So I mean, yeah, maybe a couple spoonfuls of yogurt's not going to kill you if your stomach is, adapted to it. But I don't see the benefit of eating larger amounts of dairy. I just don't, okay? Not for performance. Can I use Celtic Salt for snake juice instead of pink salt? If so, would it be the same amounts? Yes and yes, basically. If you're using Celtic Salt, make sure that it's not iodized because that means it's processed. But yeah, you can use a quality Celtic Salt instead of the pink salt if that's what you can get. The only real difference between Celtic sea salt and a good pink Himalayan salt is that the Celtic sea salt has about 60 some odd trace minerals in it, and the pink Himalayan salt has about 80, has a little over 80. So you get a little more mineral density with the pink salt, but the sodium levels are right on par. So yes, your measurements are going to be exactly the same. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Dan, I tried to quit caffeine cold turkey and developed insomnia for a week straight. That's a pretty hardcore caffeine addiction if you're getting insomnia from not having caffeine. Think about the irony there. But I didn't have any headaches, which was pretty odd. Gonna try to quit with fasting next time around. Well, that's your fucking problem right there. You're not fasting. What the fuck are you talking to me about this for? Go fucking fast, man. Like, my video literally says fast for 72 hours without having any caffeine and you'll beat it fucking quick. Now you just suffered for a week because you didn't want to fast. Just do the fasting, man. Do the fasting. Do the fasting. Next question. Okay, next question, and bear with me guys, I'm losing my voice here. I've been talking for 2 days straight and I'm not a talker despite what you think watching my YouTubes. I save it all for the YouTubes, Jan says, it's a struggle with my wife to understand the importance of the snake diet. Would it help if I dry fasted until OMAD? Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I don't know if you mean a dry fasting routine with refeeds put in there. If that's the case, that's a possibility. You're not likely going to, if you're obese, you're not going to dry fast right through until you're lean. It's not going to work. You're going to get a few days in and then you're going to need some fluids, okay? They keep going. He says, then maybe I can get away with that, in quotations, with my wife, whatever that means. She keeps repeating that I'm a role model for my 2 daughters, and yes, you are. And that they'll get an unhealthy relationship towards eating if I am fasting. No, they won't. They will develop a healthy relationship with food. But you know, the thing about your daughters is they're going to model your wife more than they're going to model you, more than likely. Chances are. I mean, there's cases where that's not the facts, but more than likely they're going to model your wife, okay? And now you can try to convince your wife till you're blue in the face. Nothing's going to happen because she's brainwashed already. She has an information problem where she's been told this thing her whole life, that not eating is bad, okay? And then the media blows up small cases of extreme negativity, like I talked about earlier, to be almost the norm, but they're not the norm, okay? So like she's thinking anorexia. Anorexia is not normal. It's not something you see. I don't know anybody with anorexia. I met one person in my life with legitimate anorexia that wasn't just saying, oh, I'm anorexic to play victim. So honestly, what you need to do as a man is go through with your goal. Do it despite what your wife says. Get the results. That's the key. Get the results. Have conviction in it. Keep your integrity. And then your wife will respect you more. And your kids will have a good role model. And hopefully your wife will jump on board. And then you're both setting a good example for your kids. Okay? Last one I'm going to answer for today because we knocked off quite a few. Mark says, I have 2 questions I need answered. I don't know if I want to answer them now. That seems pretty fucking demanding, Mark. Cole says fatties can fast for weeks, but how does one get around the sleep issue? Cole's addressed this quite a bit lately. His last few Monday Night Lives, he's addressed this, but maybe Mark hasn't been watching for a while. Long fasts drive cortisol up, which makes getting sleep difficult. That's true. My second question regarding my weight training. I do a simple upper-lower routine, training hard and going to failure. Isn't it important to get some protein in? Yes. So to talk about your cortisol issue, basically you're going to, as soon as you start having some sleep issues, break the fast, have some fruit. That's going to raise your serotonin. Then you're going to sleep a lot better. Now make sure that your sleep issues are legit, because I have a lot of people that lie about what they're actually doing. And they're actually having caffeine. They're actually having nicotine. They're actually having stimulants while they're fasting, and that's why their cortisol is so high, and that's why they're not sleeping properly. But if you got that in check 100%, you could fast until you're having a sleep issue, then refeed with some fruit and some meat, okay? Now, as far as your training goes, yeah, if you're lifting, especially if you're going to failure, you want to get that protein in. So what you would do is on your lifting days, even though that's not the routine I would promote, but it's not a terrible routine, at least you're lifting weights. On your lifting days, do some cardio as well. Burn the calories, okay? And then have your refeed. So have your refeed of meat and fruit or veggie or whatever, but I would probably stay away from starches until you're lean. And then fast when you're not lifting weights. It's simple, man. So you're getting nothing but fat burn on the days that you're not lifting weights. Try to throw some fucking extra cardio in there. Even if you got to do it at work and you can't log it, you know. Just try to walk more. Try to go up more stairs. Like the basic information that you get from those bullshit body break commercials on fucking on cable access TV. All those things, they really do work. Get more exercise, move more, okay? And yes, get your protein in on the days you're lifting. I really don't know what else to say on that. So, yeah, I mean, Cole's been talking about this for a while now. But obviously, you want to do enough cardio to offset the calories that you're taking in so that you can get those macronutrients for muscle repair and then go right back to fasting and losing weight. That's it. You guys can contact me at Snake Diet Dan on Facebook, at Snake Diet Dan on Instagram. PM those pages with the heading video question, and I'll answer your fucking questions right here on YouTube. Or you can leave a question in my YouTube comments, and if I see it, I will answer it as well. All right? Love yous. Peace.